Tekken 8's Season Pass is very underwhelming. Evo Japan's big reveal was the next Season Pass character, and it's none other than the ever milquetoast Lidia Sobieska. Before Tekken 8's release, there were two leaks going around purporting to reveal the Season 1 roster. The first leak from some German gaming website got Eddie Gordo right, but it also purported that Roger, Alex, Julia, and Armor King, as well as a new character named Xiao Ming, were coming to the game. Another leak from the internet claimed that Eddie Gordo, Lidia, Fakamram, and Marduk were the choices for Season 1, and with Lydia's announcement at Evo Japan, it looks like this one is right on the money. Now this is just a leak. It's possible things could change. I mean, look at the whole debacle with Ash from Evil Dead coming to MK11. It was already being discussed, and copyright text for him had even made it into the Combat Pack trailer, but it never happened due to conflicts at the 11th hour. That being said, however, Namco hasn't been able to keep a Tekken character's announcement a secret without it leaking since very early on in Tekken 7's console life, so I'm very inclined to believe this one to be true, since those guys leak more than a Farfetch. And if it is true, this is probably the lamest Season 1 we could have expected, and not just because of my own personal preferences either. Let's get it out of the way. No, I don't like any of these characters, and I have no inclination to ever pick them up. Does that make me biased against them? Probably, but if you're a fan of any of them and you're getting your main back, I'm happy for you. You should play them and enjoy them. But you should also probably be asking Bandai Namco some questions. Hear me out on this one. Marduk was released as a DLC for Tekken 7 in December of 2018. Fakamram was released in March of 2020, and Lydia released on March 21st of 2021. Now 2021 was 3 years ago. Bandai Namco is essentially asking you to re-buy something you just paid for 3 years ago. And Lydia isn't a new character anymore. She's a returning Tekken 7 character. Rumors have abounded for years that she was supposed to be in Tekken 8 but was brought into Tekken 7 early to keep that game interesting, and with her crazy plus frames and offense-oriented style, I can kind of see that given how crazy offense is in Tekken 8. Marduk and Fakamram were 6 and 4 years ago respectively. But is this really the best they have for DLC? The exact same things that they were selling for their last game less than 10 years ago? Given the direction of Tekken 8 towards Unga Bunga, I guess they felt like it was the best option they had. Did you notice all the Season 1 DLC characters are offensive type characters? Eddie's whole thing is mixing you up with gimmicks. Lydia is a rushdown monster, and Fakamram actually got banned temporarily in Pakistan for his shenanigans. It's just wild to me that they recycled Tekken 7 stuff for the Battle Pass, and now they're recycling Tekken 7 DLC too. In my opinion, DLC characters should be something wacky or new that makes you say, wow, I really gotta try that out. Instead, Tekken 8's first season is just more of the same. Same DLC, different game. If you want to bring back old characters, at least make them some ancient history characters for nostalgia huffers. Kunimitsu was great for Tekken 7 because she was a new take on a Tekken 1 and 2 character that fans had been missing for years. If she hadn't gotten everyone so fatigued on her by being Tekken DLC strong, she'd be one of the greatest comebacks in Tekken history. Imagine if Tekken 8 actually had the guts to reintroduce someone wacky like Roger and Alex as some sort of tag team character a la Noob Smoke, or maybe a hyper-old Wang Jinrei being kept alive by Azazel magic. Heck, you could even totally retool Prototype Jack's move list and make him into another super heavy like Jack, but with brand new moves and a different playstyle. And this is just existing Tekken characters. Give us some new characters with dedicated character episodes to insert them into the Tekken lore. Don't just bring out your old characters with a Tekken 8 edition label slapped on them. It's sad that after the success of 7, Namco has become so creatively bankrupt with Tekken 8. It's like they used all the budget and money to create new modes and ideas, but when it came time to actually implement them, they dropped the Unreal Engine Fight Pass ball. Tekken 7's story barely existed due to the low budget, so we expected Tekken 8 to have a killer story mode. Instead, we got a knockoff NetherRealm style story mode with your typical power of friendship, believe in myself type story. It had spectacle for sure, but tell me one thing you saw in Tekken 8's story that hasn't been done before. Tekken 7's story, mundane narrator and all, was at least a showdown between two bad guys, the closest thing the series has come to the story of Tekken 1 and 2 in over 20 years. And this is all in spite of Harada's poor attempts to retcon Heihachi into a good guy.
You know I killed everyone for you.
Tekken 7 barely existed, so Tekken 8 was for sure going to be well supported with constant quality content and updates, right? Yeah, about that. Here's your battle pass full of content rehashed from Tekken 7 and Unreal Engine assets, complete with obfuscated currency, banning of modders, and the inability to fix while running moves for characters who like coffee in just one patch. I don't know if the rumors about Tekken 8 being turned into a cash cow because of Namco's failed Genshin clone is true or not, but it's certainly possible. It's also possible that Namco is just suffering from success. Tekken 7 was a surprise classic, selling millions of copies and drawing in players from all over the world. They're not the little old Tekken team trying to keep their little game that barely made it to market alive anymore. They're the Tekken Project team. They sold 8 million copies. They think their fans love us and they can do no wrong. But they need to get back to the humble fans first mentality that led them to success with Tekken 7. I don't know how much cash Tekken 7 made for Namco, but I'm sure it was a lot, and it did it all without a scummy currency cash shop or a fight pass. And maybe a fight pass is the way of the gaming world now, but you know what? It doesn't make you entitled if you don't like it. A fight pass fundamentally changes the way a game is developed and played. Period. End of story. I couldn't trust myself to keep a game focused on quality with a battle pass that was printing money for me, so I know Bandai Namco can't be trusted to either. And if you're going to hit me with that argument that games cost more now, so it takes too much money to make them, I'll go ahead and agree with you. But games never needed unlimited budgets to be fun. The restrictions of yesteryear's hardware made developers work harder to get their vision into the medium. Their products had heart and soul because of it. Tekken 7 was barely greenlit, while Tekken 8 was a surefire thing. What's not a surefire thing, though, is the continued support and adoration of the fanbase. I love Tekken as a series, and I even love Tekken 8 as a game. That's why I criticize it. I love it enough to tell it how it needs to get better. And unfortunately, Season 1 already seems to be a bit of a wash, with a lock on rehashed characters. But maybe for Season 2 we can get something more interesting. But enough of this grumpy old Tekken man. What do you guys think? Do you think the leak will end up being false and I'll have egg on my face? Is it true? And if so, is Season 1 a good lineup? Why does Namco seem to make some characters always have to be DLC? Leave in the comments what you think below. And in the meantime, I'll look forward to reading them. But this is Trent from the Trenternet signing off.